I wanted to value people not for what they could give me, but just for who they are. And I realized to all the bullies in here, all of you that you hide behind your words and your fists, you know the number one way that I began to find real worth and real value? See, I told you at the beginning, what you take, you can't keep. You can't take your worth and your value from us, but what you give away always comes back around like a boomerang. And I realized when I started doing random acts of kindness, valuing people, caring about people, being intentional of helping people that I knew were struggling or alone, what began to happen is it gave me a real sense of worth, because you can't change experiences. And when I knew that I had helped people, it helped me subconsciously realize I had worth. If I knew that you could give me a feeling, an emotion, a position, some clout, something, if I thought that you could add to my life, then I had time for you. But I recognize that's a very selfish way to live. You see, what makes you and I different than every other animal on this planet is, see, instincts drive things, the natural instinct. I used to have raccoons all the time when I was a kid. I used to find pet raccoons. I don't know why. I love pet baby raccoons. And the thing is, you can only keep a raccoon for so long because the instincts kick in and they get rude, ugly, and nasty. And you gotta get rid of them because they'll bite you. The difference about us as people, we have the ability to go against our instincts. And so when I stopped allowing that instinct of saying, listen, it's survival of the fittest. If you can't add to my life, I don't have time for you. What I began to do was I began to do random acts of kindness. I realized I wanted to stop putting value on you if I thought that you could benefit my life, but I wanted to put value on you just because you're you. And what happened when I kind of short-circuited the way that I was kind of like knitted together in my instincts, instead of only fighting for the top, when I randomly add value to people, you know what happens? I create unique relationships, and these unique friendships and relationships, they will help you grow in life. You see, here's what I've learned. What you give away, you get to keep. For a long time, I tried to take my worth, take my value, prove to people that I was important. But every day I would wake up and I thought this is empty as I did the day before. Hard work, show. See, some of you have dreams and goals, but hard work, you can't get around it. I wish there was a magic wand that I could wave, that your passion, your dream, that thing you want to achieve, it could just happen, but it can't. Hard work is required. See, dreams and goals, hard work works. And what I mean by this, hard work and making good choices. Good choices will always position you in life to win. Hard work works. And I know some of you, listen to me very clearly. Every A is not an A. I don't care how much you can jump on Google and get the answer and get your report card or your grade sheet or your teachers or your school to think that you're getting the A. If you're cutting corners, if you're taking shortcuts, every A is not an A. You're not robbing anybody else but you. See, hard work and making good choices, they work hand in hand. In this room, I promise you, are doctors and teachers and actors and athletes, musicians, social workers, cardiologists, cosmetologists, but it won't happen by accident. Hard work works. And you know what's great about our culture, y'all? The world's lazy. It's a good thing for you and me. Kind of, but not really, but yeah, kind of. And here's what I mean by that. Nobody wants to do it. Everybody will talk about it. Everybody will post about it, but nobody wants to roll up their sleeves and just go get it. And so what that means for me, if I don't have to be the most qualified, I don't have to be the most talented, all I got to begin to do is to apply myself, and by default, I'm going to separate myself from the crowd. Like grit and perseverance and tenacity and resolve. You see, because I know too well, life for many of us, man, there's challenges. I know many of us sitting in these seats, we have faced adversity and circumstances and storms that we didn't ask for. Sometimes it's like we're just a freshman and a sophomore, and we're trying to grow up in life and figure out, first off, who am I and what do I want to do with my life and what's my future hold, and we have all the pressure of just kind of growing up in the culture and trying to fit and find our space. And then we have things that happen to us that we didn't ask for, like serious, challenging issues of maybe abuse, mental, physical, emotional, maybe deaths in our family, maybe, adversity that happens in our community, in our school. Like, we've had real challenges and broken families, divorces, right? Like, how many of you sitting in here, if you were honest with me, right? Like, I know sometimes it's like this. Like, we as young people, We didn't ask for some adversity. We didn't ask for some challenges. And it's almost like somebody puts this plate of food right in front of you, right? And they're like, this is life. This is your plate of food. This is all that you get in life. Now deal with it. And you're like, I don't like that. But this is all that you have to deal with because it's the real situation that you're having to figure out. Does anybody understand what I'm talking about? You see, the truth is, our challenge as young men and women, as we're growing up in life, is that we have to continue to develop the tools, and we have to continue to be able to develop the ability that when adversity and when challenges and objects and obstacles get in our way, that's called life, that we've got to be able to understand how to mature in a way that we don't overreact, that we don't act impulsive, that we don't make decisions that will forever impact our future. We don't make decisions that will forever set us back and put us back years behind because we were impulsive or we were erratical or irrational or we didn't understand how to properly process the emotion. Like, we need to, as young people, make sure that as we're facing adversity and challenges, that we understand that it's okay to not be okay, that it's okay that we're going through some things, and that the truth is we're not alone, because many of us in here, even when I asked that question, a wave of hands got raised, that life, not only for students, but for adults, for people, will always be full of challenges. The goal is for us, like my dad, when he used to smack the basketball off my face. Listen, I have to identify the problem, and then I have to figure out how to get around the problem. I'm not going to get consumed where all I focus, and I'm always just tore up on the problem, because all of my focus is on the problem. I'm not focusing on the solutions. Hey Nathan, pop the pill, take the drink, smoke this, experiment with that. Nah, I'm cool. I'm gonna prove to my dad that I don't need him. But man, the pressure, it's real. And when external pressures meet internal pressures, tornadoes and hurricanes can happen. And if we don't find healthy releases and outlets, which communication, I've learned more and more, the more I do this, the more I talk, the more I dig in and learn the power of words and how they connect to emotions. Communication, I am settled in my heart and in my mind, is the most powerful tool we have. Because resiliency and perseverance is born in community. Communication is the most powerful tool we as human people have, human connection. And the number one thing that happens when we experience struggles is we go against it because we want to isolate and protect. And we find ourselves in this vicious push and pull and push and pull. I want to belong, but I don't trust you. I want to feel like I matter, but I feel abandoned. I want to feel like I'm important, but I don't have the tools to speak up and to communicate, because what will you think about me? Nathan, I get it. I'm supposed to talk about it. I need to talk about it. I should talk about it, but I don't know what you'll do with what I talk to you about. So I don't talk to anybody about anything. Hey Nathan, pop the pill, take the drink, smoke this. Nah, I'm cool. But eventually, the pressure from the outside and the pressure from the inside, and I got to a place in high school where I compromised myself. I popped the pill, I took the drink at the party, and it seems so innocent, it seems so harmless. What I'm saying is this: for some of us who suppress our hurts and our pains and our struggles, when that internal pressure finds these external pressures, and I compromised and I popped the pill and I took the drink and I smoked, man, I did it because I wanted to fit in, but then it became the mask, and it began to numb and to make those things that faded and twisted. It sure made the internal stuff go away. And then it became my coping mechanism. And truthfully, substance abuse, why it's such an enticing way for so many of us who've been through traumas and struggles, because I don't trust you, and I really don't want deep, meaningful relationships, but I can share a common denominator like a habit of an addiction, and yep, I can have that sense of community, but I ain't gotta open up to you. And so it's almost like this perfect storm where I can have some sense of belonging to some crowd, to some group, to some clique, but I don't have to begin to have any deep, meaningful relationships because I share a common habit, but I don't trust you. Substance abuse. See, I got involved with this thing called drugs and alcohol, and man, when that outside storm met my internal storm, I went from straight A's to straight F's. Here's a picture, actually. This picture on your left, that's me at 18 years old. 18 years old, I went from being a freshman who was voted going to be the most successful freshman in his class, top 3, 700 freshmen. I was going to prove to my dad that I didn't need him. By the time I was a senior at 18, you name it, I popped it, I tried it, I attempted, I experienced with it. A heartbeat away from a drug overdose. I skipped school 63 times my senior year. I don't even know how that's possible, but I did it. and I found myself expelled. I went to the military. I loved the military, but man, that addiction was so big and I couldn't resist. I ended up finding myself with other than honorable discharge at 19 years old, living with my grandfather at 20. I stole $4,000 from my grandpa at 20 years old to feed my addiction. You see, I have this saying, and I say, don't feed the bear. Because truthfully, when I first began to compromise and to get involved with drugs and alcohol, it seems so innocent. Addiction seems so harmless. Everybody else is doing it. What's the big deal? And now you can kind of have some self-control at the beginning, but it's like bear cubs. Bear cubs, man, they're cute and they're cuddly. They seem so innocent. I always say that if you stumbled across a baby 1 day old bear cub and you knew mama bear, which would be sad, died giving birth, super sad, but you weren't worried about mama bear killing you, and you found a 1 day old bear cub, it's cute. The problem is when you begin to feed the bear and the bear grows up, the instincts of the bear won't respect you. The instincts of the bear aren't going to care and play favorites. When you begin to feed the bear, it may seem innocent at the beginning, but as it grows, that addiction, that mentality, those negative thoughts and behaviors, it can grow into something and the instincts will override it and it will come for you. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you had a relationship with it. I don't care how much you've cultivated it and created a time for it, that you thought you were being self-controlling and you thought you were operating in healthy ways of a little bit of substance abuse. What's the big deal? I'm a functioning drunk, I'm a functioning alcoholic, I'm a functioning pot user, I'm a functioning whatever it is, pot pill popper. I don't care what it is. I get to the root. It's compromise, and we're finding ways to try to mask the hurts and the pain. And one thing will lead to another. And for me, don't feed the bear. The bear became a thing that I never thought that it would, and the bear began to end my life. Try to, at least.